It's a two-way affair, isn't it, between China and the U.S. The U.S. also posting some weak results for the month of February. Well, let's turn to tonight's stories. And the European Union has rejected proposals to blacklist Ghana and 22 other countries for money laundering. Its executive commission placed the country on a list with deficiencies in anti-money laundering and terrorism financing frameworks. George Afi has more on what this would mean for the country.
According to the European Union member countries, it took the decision to reject the report of the Executive Commission because it was not established in a transparent and resilient process. The member countries should have approved this proposal for the enforcement of the initial blacklist of 23 countries to kick in. However, following this move, the European Union must now take steps to remove Ghana from the list, as well as other countries, which would have resulted in extra checks on all banking transactions from the country to the European Union, as well as other regions. A development that could have affected a lot of banks in the country and businesses. Government had rejected the initial report of the Commission, saying that it had already taken steps to address all the concerns raised by the European Union.
Ghanaian exporters have been urged to be mindful of EU regulations when exporting into the European market. Now, speaking at the 23rd Trade Fair Business Seminar, Deputy CEO of the Ghana Export Promotion Authority, Albert Kasim Diwura, expressed confidence that Ghana's non-traditional export earnings could be doubled if safety standards are upheld. There is more in this report.
The Ghana Export Promotion Authority, GEPA, says Ghanaian exporters have no choice but to comply with safety standards to prevent exports from being rejected on the EU market. Figures from the Export Promotion Authority show that Ghana loses millions of dollars on a yearly basis to seized and rejected goods on the EU market. Speaking at the 23rd Trade Fair Business Seminar, Deputy CEO of GEPA, Albert Kasim Diwura, said the authority hopes to double its export earnings from $2.6 billion in 2018 to $5.3 billion by 2021, as efforts to get exporters to comply continues.
We have tried very hard to really up our game in the area of the non-traditional export. We deal basically in four broad areas. We talked about the agri aspect of it, we talked about the manufacturing, talked about the services, and the industrial arts aspect. And so in the agri sector, in the last 2 years, we have actually developed so much. And so we are looking at in the next few years, basically 4 or 5 years' time, to be able to double our export earnings. Currently, 2007, we are looking at 2.6 billion. And so we are saying that from this 2.6 billion, we will double our earnings to at least 5.3 billion come 2021.
Joy Business engaged some exporters on this issue. For them, close collaboration with the authority has helped with the level of compliance.
There are some kind of subsidies and some kind of tax waivers that we could get if we associate ourselves with GEPA. And I just started, but with the few things I've seen and the few meetings we've had with them, we know that the future is bright for young businesses like ours, because we've realized that there's a lot of market for our products. All right, and associating with GEPA will be able to really give us a lot of mileage.
Benefit a lot from them. They have promoted my business in terms of export and import industry. They grow my business as well. I mean, in terms of more information about export.
But when you are determined to excel in whichever profession you find yourself, you should be ready to build yourself up to meet the challenges that come up.
The 23rd Trade Fair Business Seminar forms part of activities by the Ghana International Trade Fair to promote made-in-Ghana goods both home and abroad.
Now, the Bank of Ghana says it has approved about 40 digital payment products for commercial banks. Awareness on these products has been slow, making the digitalization campaign a little challenging for the financial sector. While speaking at the launch of the Zenith Go Live digital payment system in Accra, Head of Payment Systems at the Bank of Ghana, Seta Mediku, hinted that the central bank is taking steps to vet some of the products before licensing others.
The Bank of Ghana in 2018 approved and issued about 40 licenses to financial services operators to manage various digital payment platforms to drive the agenda of moving the country to a cash-light economy. Some of these services are, however, not known and are yet to be used by the public, despite some publicity efforts by the operators. Speaking at the launch of Zenith Go Lite, a digital payment system by the Zenith Bank, head of payment systems at the Bank of Ghana, Seto Amedeku, hinted that the central bank will be vetting some of these products prior to issuing out licenses for more operators.
Not only doing the mathematics, coming with very nice figures, telling the central bank that products have to be approved. Those products have to be justified by looking at the returns it brings to the bank. So on the part of the central bank, especially me as a head of payment system, I was so impressed when we received this letter from Zenith Bank that they want to relaunch their various products and services that have been approved by the central bank. And let me say that the relaunch should not end in this room. The staff might go to the field, they might go to the marketplaces, churches, to make these products aware, to make it very visible for Ghanaians.
Managing Director of Zenith Bank, Henry Oro, indicated that the campaign by the bank is part of efforts to support the cash-light society being promoted by government.
What we have tried to do in this program is to lead a campaign, and I believe my other colleagues from other institutions are doing something similar to improve the penetration of digital products in Ghana among the consumers in Ghana. You know, the benefits are there, like I tried to tell us. You know, it's safer, it is faster, it is smarter when you use digital products.
The bank has been one of the few financial service providers in the country to introduce an app based on mobile banking services available for both Apple and Android devices. Ibn Sabute's report for Joy Business.
And you're still watching Business Live on JoyNews. Let's do some stories related to the International Women's Day. And Deputy Governor of the Central Bank, Elsie Awaji, has assured that the Bank of Ghana will provide more opportunities for women to be involved in the provision of financial services. She made these comments at the Ring the Bell for Equality event spearheaded by the Ghana Stock Exchange. It was organized as part of the International Women's Day celebration.
Women's Day, the Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative, in collaboration with the Ghana Stock Exchange, organized a bell-ringing ceremony to raise awareness of the pivotal role the private sector can play to advance gender equality and to achieve the UN Sustainable Development Goal 5. Women from various sectors of the economy came together to mark the celebration. Second Deputy Governor of the Bank of Ghana, Elsie Awaji, in an address, revealed that only a third of SMEs worldwide are owned by women, mostly due to the limited access to funds. She explained that the regulator will do its best to ensure that Ghanaian women have access to funds.
Today, there is a significant number of women in senior leadership in the bank, and management will continue to promote equity and create an environment where women feel supported to give off their utmost best. As regulators, we would also ensure that more women get into the industry for the provision of financial services, and that women who are end users of these financial services can do that in a safe manner. To conclude, let us all renew our commitment to promoting a more balanced representation of women in every way that we can, wherever we are.
Managing Director of the Exchange, Kofi Amwa, urged other stakeholders to use the celebration of the International Women's Day to create awareness on women in the financial sector.
My keynote for this ceremony and going forward is to empower the women, especially in finance and the business sector. Many of the ladies fall gullible as far as investment is concerned. And when that happens, they are the most vulnerable as far as the end result is concerned. I want us to use this opportunity going forward to create more awareness about women in safe investment, very safe investment, so that we don't fall prey to investment opportunities that bring or promise the heavens and then we earn very little from it.
The Ring the Bell for Equality is an international celebration in collaboration with UN Global Compact, UN Women, Sustainable Stock Exchanges Initiative, International Finance Corporation, the IFC, World Federation of Exchanges, and Women in ETFs. Karen Dodo support for Joy Business.
Well, still on International Women's Day, CEO of Leroy Group, Kate Quartey-Papafio, is urging women not to stop thinking and not to be stagnant in life. She also debunked the notion that certain professions are exclusively for men and urged women never to give up. Kate Papafio was sharing her thoughts on the business edition of PM Express.
One of the things is not for you to take, I don't take no for an answer. Out of negative always comes positive. We started when we were building our own house in Legon there, where at the time cables was a problem. I mean, we were having issues in terms of we wire the place, and then, you know, some people went and removed all the wires from the house. And I said to myself, my goodness, this time I'm not going to buy any recycling. Why don't you? Yes, why don't we import? So we started with importation. Okay. And then eventually, people keep asking that, oh, well, can we have some? So I imported more than we needed at the time. So I started with that, and then we started exporting. And then eventually we said to ourselves, for how long can we bring it down to export? Why don't you make it ourselves? Make it ourselves. So it really takes a determination, attention to details, and for you to focus on what you want to do, because we all have our special gifts. So to light people's path, to be part of development, it's inborn, it's you. Yeah. Once you see the things growing up, it makes you happy, you feel good. And as part of business, it's like anytime I'm walking around, I'm just looking at buildings that are shooting up. I say, we thank God for that. So that is also potential part of business. Potential business. We need to light more. We need to actually also sustain it and say that I can't do otherwise. And you ask yourself, these people, which cables are they using? Are they using Leroy? Of course, but it has to be locally made.
All right. Happy International Women's Day to all of you watching tonight. Well, Indian automobile company Ashok Leyland says it's committed to investing more in Ghana's transport sector with quality products. President of Ashok Leyland, Nitin Seth, noted that the company is also undertaking feasibility studies which could lead to the establishment of an assembling plant in the country. He disclosed this after launching 4 new ranges of automobiles for the company at Tema. Here's more.
Ashok Leyland is the world's 4th largest manufacturer of buses and 10th in the manufacturing of trucks. The company exports its products to 50 different countries. Ashok Leyland has been in the Ghanaian market for 9 years through its partner Rana Motors, which is celebrating 4 decades of its presence in the country. The 4 new models introduced include Boss, Captain, Partner, and Hawk. They are said to be fuel efficient for industrial use and for public transportation. President of Ashok Leyland, Nitin Seth, touches on proposed feasibility studies on the setting up of an assembling plant in Ghana.
We heard the Honorable Minister speaking about whether Ashok Leyland should invest into this country in terms of facility. I think this is a business call we can take. We will find out how much is the demand in this market, what kind of vehicles people want. And once the feasibility is conducted, we will spend time with the ministry and understand. It's a pure business call which we take in many countries. So we are not against it, but it has to be done in a very, very methodical fashion. So we are open to that suggestion which the Honorable Minister gave today, and we look forward to coming out with a feasibility report in a short time.
Nitin Seth is urging government to create the right environment for customers to be able to purchase such products.
One thing we have to understand, the people buy trucks and buses to earn money. So economy is very highly dependent on how the buses perform. The interest rate on the vehicles because people purchase on interest rate. I think we will try our best to give good quality vehicles, but the local interest rate and banking scenario has to help the customer to buy these vehicles. Our dealer can only play a limited role. The government has to also play a very big role in ensuring the environment is good for consumer to buy the vehicle. Our Indian government, under various schemes of credit which we support various governments in Africa, we have discussed with the minister today whether we can come and give that kind of proposal, and he has suggested that we should have a formal meeting for this proposal.
Meanwhile, Deputy Transport Minister Daniel Titus Glover is calling on Leyland to invest more in the country to create jobs for the youth.
Our prayer is that Ashok Leyland, Rana Motors will support the vision of His Excellency the President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo as he's trying hard to make sure that other automobile companies who are destined to come and establish here in Ghana. And I'm talking about Volkswagen, Nissan, and currently Renault is also doing some feasibility to come and assemble their vehicles here in Ghana. As I sit back and I watch the assembly plant in India, it is our belief and prayer that you come not only importing from India, but also establish the assembly plant here in Ghana to create jobs, to boost the economy and all that.
At the launch were India's High Commissioner to Ghana, heads of institutions, customers of Ashok Leyland, and Rana Motor officials. Well, next to the Ashanti region, where 15 students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology are to receive financial support and training from mining engineering firm Dra Ghana. The corporate social responsibility gesture spanning over 5 years will cover bursaries and industrial attachment for beneficiaries. Country Director Augustine Ejay Autry unveiled the package in Kumasi.
The whole program is in two phases. The bursary is to award monetary value to students who are bright, they are smart, but they have difficulties with finances. That is the objective, two criteria, smart and the needy. So the university selected them, and we're going to help them complete the whole school. So we help them from first year to the final year, whatever, and provide them a monetary value for it. The second phase is the graduate program. That is those who are leaving school, we want to employ them, but we will let them do national service with us. Then we'll take them through the graduate program. The graduate program will be, we have a nice program where we have a booklet. We'll train them to be engineers, we train them to be project managers, and we will train them to be also whatever they want to be. We want to fill the skills gap. So we need them, and they will train the engineers we want to bring on board. So after some time, we will learn from them, so that when you finish school, we don't become maintainers, we become proper engineers.
In other news tonight, the Food and Drugs Authority says it will ensure safe consumption of all local food products by the public. This is in accordance with this mandate under the law to get all locally manufactured products registered to meet international standards. According to Chief Executive of the authority, Delasi Darko, countries like Malaysia and Turkey have increased local consumption compared with imported foods by towing the same line. He was speaking at the FDA Kuala Made in Ghana event held in Accra. This is Joshua Smith's report.
Act 851 of 2012, the FDA is charged to ensure safety of all foods consumed. Unfortunately, there has been increased preference for international cuisines and other imported food items. CEO of FDA, Delisi Darko, says the FDA is partnering government under the One District, One Factory initiative to ensure all food items produced locally meet standards of the industry. According to her, the future of the Ghanaian economy hinges on its local industries, with the food sector contributing significantly.
The Ghanaian economy is diverse and has rich resources. It is an established fact that the future of the Ghanaian economy, however, hinges on the local manufacturing sector. And it is worth noting at this point that the food industry contributes hugely to the economy and efforts of the FDA to bring this industry to international standards cannot be overemphasized. The FDA's mandate stretches over food, over cosmetics, over medical devices, over household chemicals. Emerging economies such as Malaysia, Turkey, and others have sustained and attained their status by deliberately patronizing their own products, first of all. And then they were able to export what they produce. It is in this vein that FDA has strategically partnered with the One District, One Factory initiative of government to ensure that whatever is produced locally is also meets the desired international standard and also is encouraged to be imported and is encouraged to be exported. Over the years, however, many have complained about the FDA registration procedure. But we want to assure all local manufacturers that FDA has put in measures to ensure that we are making sure that our systems are not going to be as stringent, but we will not compromise on quality, we will not compromise on wholesomeness, we will not compromise on safety. We will ensure that we will put in structures that will speed up the processes for local industry to ensure that your goods will be able to be on the shops and on the shelves of all these supermarkets, and your goods will also be allowed to be exported. And when they go out, they will meet the specifications of international standards, and that is because we have registered them with the FDA in Ghana.
Managing Director of Kuala Supermarket, Imad Wali, said, having operated for 30 years, he's delighted to see locally manufactured products having to meet national standards before being passed.
Today is not only a special day because we are unveiling our Made in Ghana display, but it's also a special year for us. We are celebrating 30 years in the supermarket industry in Ghana. I can say we are the oldest supermarket today. In the 30 years, we've seen an evolution in local manufacturing. There were the days where product came without barcodes. There were the days there were no packing material for local manufactured products. But today, we've seen a big improvement and a lot of products that are coming in at international standards. These standards are sometimes impressive to the extent that we don't believe they are made in Ghana until we read the label.
The FDA says it is committed to putting in place measures to speed up the registration of all regulated products. Joshua Smith's report for Joy News.
Well, the National Petroleum Authority says it's confident of rolling out the cylinder recirculation policy by the end of the year. The announcement was made today at a stakeholders meeting with a section of civil society groups and other industry players to get some input to roll out the policy. We'll bring you details of that story when we come your way with business on JoyNews Prime. That'll be it for our program tonight. Thanks for watching. My name is Dra Ghana. There's more news on our website, joybusinessnews.com. We're back same time next week.